I think where UNBC goes with truth and reconciliation in this theme, it comes back to that word of act, to be intentional, to be deliberate, to ensure that the decisions that we're making as a university are informed.
The UN Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples is important not just for our university, it's important for every university.
It's really important because it outlines the rights of Indigenous peoples, but it also covers the truth of histories around colonization and access to culture, language, and lands.
That declaration was so important because it created the space for a new way of thinking about Indigenous people and Indigenous knowledge.
With UNDRIP and the calls to action with truth and reconciliation, there are guidelines and metrics of which we as an institution need to achieve, but it has to be more than that.
We've done a lot at UNBC to really start including Indigenous voices, and even in that time period that I've been here, I've noticed more Indigenous professors, more Indigenous students, and more comfort with entering the First Nations Center.
When we work with Indigenous communities, it's really about reconciliation and weaving that into those respectful relations. It's about understanding, having them understand who we are as researchers, where we came from, why we're there, how we came to work with the communities, understanding the community, the pain and challenge that it's worked through, understanding where they have been, where they are, and where they wish to go.
UNBC can advance decolonization by asking the communities, asking surrounding Indigenous communities, the communities that we already currently have partnerships with, what does UNBC need to do?
I think it's important to reestablish those connections with people who had this land before settlers came along.
I look forward to opportunities to ensure that I am being truthful about the past and that I am showing ways that we can amend and reconcile.
Reconciliation is not just the work of Indigenous people. Reconciliation is the work of non-Indigenous people.
The first step is education, always, in my opinion. And it's just learning about the Indigenous peoples on your territory. Come to the First Nations Center and get to know some Indigenous people. When you build community with them, you learn so much.
We need you to believe us when we tell you our truth of what we've experienced. And then, as the non-Indigenous person, work from your skills and from your strengths and the gifts that Creator gave to you to push forward on reconciliation. I'm not asking anyone to take on all of the 94 calls to action. I'm asking each individual person to read the 94 calls to action and find your place within that work.
Asking them to be patient, to be kind, and to insert themselves into that picture so they can really make things like decolonization and indigenization relevant to their own personal experience, because it's not just a First Nations issue, it's an issue for all of us.
And we as an institution and as a community continue and need to evolve with it. And so it will always be part of who we are. To me, it's more than a theme.